All right, guys. So, like I said, we're going to go ahead and open the floor to questions for Coach Atkinson.
Brooke, I just talk about what you liked about tonight, and obviously, I thought that you guys got out in transition pretty well, and then also maybe on the other side of that, just the turnovers on both sides of the ball, and is that something that maybe you guys want to clean up before tomorrow?
Defensively was our goal. Defensively was just to be really solid, force everything out, and I thought, our focus on the defensive end really helped us offensively, being able to get out in transition, get some easy buckets, get to the free throw line just to take some pressure and off in the half court. So I thought we were really locked in from the jump defensively, and absolutely, we can't continue to turn the ball over 19 times. Our goal is 12 or less, and we still have to just continue to get better at that. And the thing is we probably have 12 turnovers that were forced, and the other 7 were just ones that we just kind of do on our own, that are just kind of unsolicited turnovers that we don't need or no one forced. And so we just have to continue to work to be disciplined and solid with the basketball.
It looks to be that you're as complete as you could on both sides of the ball as they've played in conference play since it started. So what would you say clicked?
We got 2 weeks consistent of practice. I would say, going into the Grand Canyon series, we got 2 consistent weeks of practice, and it showed. Then we had a 3-week layoff, and it's just really difficult, physically, mentally, to be on pause from the 16th all the way until, maybe 3 days before we play at Cal Bap. So I just think the more that we can work on our craft and get better and just practice, we're just going to continue to get better. And we just keep talking about every day, you have to get better. We want to be playing our best basketball in March. And, I thought we've had, this week was where we've had our whole entire team. And so we had a really good week of practice, and that shows. How you practice is going to be how you compete. And that showed this week. And, we're just, the biggest thing in all this is we're just grateful when we're able to string, 10 practices together, because I don't know if we've had that, but maybe once or twice this season.
Any Go ahead, Jason. Looks like you're about to ask a question.
I wanted to ask you, Brooke, if you could talk about Rodrea and just her game tonight overall. She had a couple turnovers there at the end of the first half and hit a big 3. Like, just talk about her game tonight and what you need from her handling the ball and running your offense from here on out.
Didi can play the 1 through the 4. She's playing the 1 for us. I wouldn't say she's a natural 1, but she's playing the 1 for us, and she does a good job. The one thing about Didi, she has a really good motor. I mean, the kid she goes and goes and goes. But one of the things that we were able to do was move her off the ball today, and that allows her to score because she is pretty dynamic with the ball in her hands, and when she's one of our better set shooters. And so, she turned it over, I think, 3 times. But the biggest thing is she bounced back from that. And so that's the growth that I see in her, is just, continuing to work, whatever we throw her in, whether it's the 1, 2, 3, or 4, she just kind of does what we need. And she's just continuing to get a feel for this team and for the game. And, when she's locked in and when she's hot, she's really hot.
Coach, defensively, how are you able to kind of hold them down the way you did, especially in that first half?
Seattle, they run the Princeton system, and so we just talked about being disciplined, keeping everything in front of us, and letting nothing go, get behind our heads, and just being solid. I thought they did a really good job, especially first quarter, second quarter. We lost some shooters. Late, and whether we play man or zone, we still have to get matched. And so I thought, they did a good job switching back and forth and just being solid and just kind of sticking to the game plan. And we just talked about, when we have a really good defensive stand, it helps us offensively, getting leak out steals, getting easy buckets.
Any more questions for Coach Atkinson?
You
Yeah, I
had
guess.
mentioned
Oh, go ahead.
you had mentioned earlier that the turnovers were a little bit more than you would like. How do you say you would corral that moving forward?
Just obviously verbalizing it, but in practice every single day, we work on, obviously game-like situations, but also just basics, shooting, passing, dribbling. I mean, every single day, and just the mentality these kids have to have is just how you practice is how you're going to play, whether that's good or bad, and just game speed. So just continue to work on those game speed reps. And I think the more games we get to play, the more experience we'll have, and we should see improvement. So I mean, just I would say being as repetitive as I can. That's probably how.
Beaver, go ahead.
I was just going to ask you how you, how you can get this performance today to carry into tomorrow.
Tomorrow's definitely just repeat what we did today, but it's more of a gut check. It's a mental game tomorrow. Bouncing back in 24 hours. That's just, and I just keep reminding these kids, like, every day you have to get better, and rent's due every single day. You got to show up, and you got to show up better than yesterday. And sometimes, you see, if you've just consistently watched, from the first game to the second, that second, I mean, it's just a grind. And so just being solid, just being consistent, and kind of staying the course. And I think the one thing that we've had to do all year is just stay the course, whether it's up, down, wherever we're at, Arizona, New Mexico, Texas. And so, I just keep trying to remind them these are all lessons, that is going to help us later on. So, tomorrow's just a toughness game. It's a gut check. We got to clean up, like you talked about. We got to clean up the turnovers, the offensive rebounds. We can't give up 19-0 boards, second chance opportunities. All those are second chance. 19-0 boards, 19 turnovers. And you see that. That's why they had 23 points off of our turnovers. That can't happen tomorrow.
Open the floor for one more question for Coach Atkinson. All right. Seems like there's no more questions for you, Coach. Thank you for your time today. Everybody in this meeting, I have it recorded. I will go ahead and shoot you guys those files on WeTransfer in the next 20 minutes or so.
Thank you.
Thanks, Brooke.
Coach, we forgot to ask you what you thought of Ty's man bun. That's probably the biggest question of the day.
What did you say?
I said we forgot to ask you what you thought of Ty's man bun, which is probably the biggest question of the day.
I mean, he just keeps us guessing all the time. Ty, so whatever he did today, he needs to do tomorrow. So expect a man bun tomorrow.
There you go.
Yeah, definitely a man bun. Thank you, guys.
Thank you.